The wait is over. Welcome everyone to the AfterShokz NASCAR Cup Series Season 1 Obstacle Clash. This race will be full of tons of twists, turns, and crazy obstacles. 43 drivers are ready for an absolutely wild journey around this crazy obstacle course. Here are the obstacles. First, they travel through Visco Village, where the drivers are going to have to avoid the scrunchies in the middle of the track. If someone hits one of the scrunchies, then they will start moving. So, drivers have to be extra careful when getting around this part of the track. Then we have the Big Squeeze and the Crazy Snake, which is sure to be the trickiest part of the track, as in the Big Squeeze, you cannot go more than 2 wide. Then we have Odds and Evens, where in this part of the course, the drivers have to go through which lane their car number is. For example, if their car number is 7, then they have to go through the odds lane. And if their car number is 56, they have to go through the evens lane. Then we have the Super Chicane. Drivers are going to have to be extra careful when the 2 lanes from odds and evens merge onto the Super Chicane, or there could be a huge wreck. Then we have boxes in the way, where drivers can drive around whatever boxes they want to drive around, but they have to be careful not to hit one of those boxes. And the last obstacle is my personal favorite, the snow, where drivers are going to be drifting around this part of the course as if it were dirt, and lots of passes are going to be made in this area. Now we're going to have a look at the starting lineup. By the way, all drivers are starting in number order, but we're showing the starting lineup anyways because we need to let y'all know who the drivers are. Row 1, we have Blur Diaz in the 08 on pole. And starting in second is Landon Smith Jr. in the 1. Then Hudson Chaffee, John Doe, yes, that's his name, Chris Beasley, Owen Miles, Matt Earnhardt, not related to any of the Earnhardts in NASCAR, and then Jackson Patrick in 8th. In row 2, we have the 11 of Steve Gates, the 12 of Lester Cole, the 13 of Marty Dukakis, who's a go-or-go-homer for the Daytona 500. Also, by the way, all entries in this race are all the entries for the Daytona 500. Anyways, we have Michael Labb Jr. in the 14, the 15 of Michael Waltrip Lover, Eric Keplinger, the 16 of Cody Ballard, the 18 of Brett Wilson, and the 19 of Mason Clements. Row 3, we have Julius Anderson, the defending Gillette Series champion, Chase Powers, Michael Waltrip, Casey Nanako, who was supposed to drive the 91, but will drive that number next season. So this season he's in the 23. Michael Hobbs in the 24. Another go-or-go-homer for the Daytona 500, David Brewer. And then his son Justin Brewer in the 31. And then the driver who shares a name with one of NASCAR's biggest mysteries, L.W. Wright in the 34. Then in row 4 we have Mateus Watson in the 35. Darryl Michaels, Trey Smith, Jack Lawton, Josh Drake, Bruce Jenkins, Frodo Marat, and then another go-or-go-homer for the 500, Jax Emery in the 52 for Rick Ware Racing. Then we have Paul Brandonson Jr., Thomas Rothling, who will not race in the Daytona 500. Aiden Caldwell will drive that car in that race. Then the 75 of David Quintanar, the 78 of Sharice Bells, another go-or-go-homer. Then Joshua Smith in the 80, and another go-or-go-homer, Jack Ming. Then Cameron Davison and Darren Dobb in the 88. And our last 3 cars are James Stapleton in the 94, the 95 of Ryan Labonte, aka One Carnation, and our final go-or-go-homer for the 500, Leighton Mata. And here's the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
Wow, what a powerful command that was, as 43 drivers are ready for a crazy journey. On your marks, get set. Let's go racing in the obstacle clash. Oh, we got contact already between Cole and Chaffee in Visco Village. And here they go through the big squeeze and the crazy snake. And oh, bunch of drivers off course. Couple of cars around. And here they are through the super chicane. A great camera angle here. We got a lot of 3 and 4 wide. And here they are through the snow. And oh, leader Chris Beasley gets taken out and Chase Powers goes around. Beasley wrecks in the snow. And oh, Powers gets hit by the 24. So they are through the crazy snake. We're on the final lap. Blur Diaz, the pole sitter, is leading. Now Mason Clements makes a move as Watson and Doe went around. And around goes the 7. And multiple cars piling in. It's the big one in the snow on the final lap. A huge wreck happens, taking out about 15 cars. Absolute chaos in the snow. And your winner of the Season 1 Obstacle Clash is Mason Clements in the 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing. He takes home the W in the Season 1 Obstacle Clash. Here's the move of the race. It arguably has to be when Mason Clements made the move on Jackson Patrick and Blur Diaz to take the lead in the super chicane. And that's what gave the 19 of Mason Clements the victory in the Season 1 Obstacle Clash. So here are the results. So coming in first was Mason Clements. Second was pole sitter Blur Diaz due to his car number because they started in number order. Third was Lester Cole. Fourth was Jackson Patrick. And how about Jax Emery? One of the go-or-go-homers for the 500, finishing 5th in that Rick Ware Racing entry. 6th was Michael Labb Jr., 7th Paul Brandonson Jr., 8th Jack Lawton, 9th Ryan Labonte, 10th Chris Beasley, 11th Thomas Rothling, the only driver that's not going to be in the 500, 12th David Quintanar, 13th Casey Nanako, 14th Darren Dow, 15th Justin Brewer, 16th LW Wright after spinning out on lap 1, 17th, Bruce Jenkins, 8th, Marty Dukakis, 19th, Leighton Mata, who was able to continue after that crash, 20th was Sharice Bells, 21st was Matthias Watson, 22nd, Cody Ballard, 23rd, Joshua Smith, 24th, Cameron Davison, 25th, John Doe, 26th, James Stapleton, 27th, Trey Smith, 28th, Matt Earnhardt, 29th, Josh Drake, 30th, Brett Wilson, 31st, Michael Waddletrip, 32nd, Owen Miles, 33rd, Jack Ming, 34th, Eric Keplinger, 35th, Steve Gates, 36th, Hudson Chaffee, 37th was the 37 of Daryl Michaels. He finished where his car number is. 38th, Frodemar Otts, 39th, Landon Smith Jr., 40th, Julius Anderson, the defending Gillette champion. 41st was David Brewer. 42nd was Michael Hobbs. And coming in last, in 43rd, was Chase Powers. So here are the replays of all the crashes in this race. Starting with the stack up in the big squeeze. So they were about 7 wide or 6 wide. And then a bunch of cars started going around. Marty Dukakis, LW Wright, and Matt Earnhardt also went around. As you see all those guys driving past the Crazy Snake to avoid wrecking and making it bigger. Nobody was penalized. Then Chris Beasley in the 6th. Looks like he went way too high and then crashed into the snow barrier. Thankfully, not a lot of damage to his car. Then Chase Powers in the 21 went around. And then the 21 tried to keep going, and then he got slammed into by the 24 of Michael Hobbs, and Leighton Mata was collected. Damage as well to the 23 of Casey Nanako. Mata was able to continue, but Hobbs and Powers wasn't, and he was also hit by David Brewer in the 27. Then we have John Doe and Matthias Watson spin out. It looks like the 18 of Brett Wilson came down on Watson and then forced him and Doe off the track. They were able to continue, but they fell back a whole lot. Last, we have the big one. So in this huge crash, the 7 of Owen Miles went around, collected Landon Smith Jr., and then everyone just started piling on in. There's Anderson, Keplinger, Fotomarots. This isn't the best camera angle. Here it is zoomed in. I apologize that some of the photos I took in the stop motion are kind of bad quality, so you'll have to deal with it. As anyways, there's Steve Gates, Brett Wilson, James Stapleton in the 94. Just so many cars involved. At least there were no cautions in this race, as this race was supposed to go caution free. And it was the final lap when this wreck happened. So anyways, congratulations to Mason Clements on winning the Obstacle Clash. Thanks for watching. This is Jonathan from JM Racing Network signing out. Goodbye, and stay tuned for the Daytona duels.